So,
I got some funny stories.
Me too. I'm Kendra.
I'm Ryland.
And we might regret this. Oh, so close.
That was better than before.
That's true. So, I was just on TikTok while I was getting ready.
Mhm.
There is a competition to see who can stay in a bed the longest. Who can bed rot? It's literally a competition for $1,000 to stay in bed the longest in bed rot.
Bitch, we would rock that shit.
I'm saying.
I heard, there's an Asian country that they have another competition like that, except you do nothing. Like you just sit there and do absolutely nothing.
I would have to have something to do.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't do that. Okay. So, you called me on Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, right before you called me, I'm minding my business, playing my video games, and Joey brings me some ramen that he made me, right? And I'm all, oh, thank you, and so I'm eating it. I'm down to my last bite, and I take a bite, and I start to swallow, and I feel something stuck in the back of my throat. I start gagging and dry heaving. And mind you, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm hacking it up. I spent a minute doing that. I'm like, okay, that's not working. Let me see if I'm shoving my fingers down my throat, it's gonna work. And so I'm dry heaving, kind of puking, while my fingers are down my throat. I finally pulled it out. Do you know what I fucking had?
A piece of hair.
Yes. It was tied around my taste bud.
Oh, no.
That's why I was driving and hacking and gagging, was because it was tied around my taste bud and it wouldn't go down. It was horrible.
Oh, my gosh.
Joey was like, I thought you were going to die.
I thought you were going to die. I can honestly say that my hair is probably one of my biggest competitions because it gets stuck in everything.
Oh, I know.
You have a nose ring in, it's wrapped around it.
Mm-hmm.
Put earrings in, somehow it gets locked in those too.
Car doors are the bane of my existence.
Windows.
On a windy day, fuck me. It's fucking miserable. And I shed. When my hair is longer, I shed so much. I don't know how I'm not bald yet.
I shed 365 days.
Mm-hmm.
I find my hair in random places.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know.
The dishwasher. What? I don't even do the dishes.
I swear to God, the places it goes. I tell Joey one of these days he's gonna find one in his butt crack somehow. But
it'll happen. Shane got one. That's happened multiple times actually.
It's Joey's turn now.
We all take turns.
Okay, I have one more story.
Do you want to save it for the next one so we're not just diving straight in?
Fair point. All right.
To be clear, we batch record.
Yes, we do.
Because, like we said, busy.
Yes.
Busy women. What do you know about Atchison, Kansas?
I've heard of the name. I don't know anything about it, though.
I believe you have.
Okay.
So Atchison, Kansas was where Amelia Earhart was born.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's where I knew.
So there's actually a festival hosted in her honor for it. Yeah, it's in July, I believe. Yep, during July. So on Thursday, so this is a whole weekend thing.
Okay.
It starts on a Thursday and ends on a Sunday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So on Thursday, Grandfather Earhart's Ice Cream Social. Ice cream and other desserts served in the memory of Amelia's grandfather who attended St. Mark's Lutheran Church. There's also aerial abstract painting by around the world pilot Amelia Rose Earhart. Amelia's shadow from the sky is a kaleidoscope journey of aerial abstract, real and imagined landscapes seen from above, inspired by her passion for painting sparked through flight. On Friday, The Aviator and the Showman. Amelia Earhart and George Putnam and the marriage that made an American icon, a landmark biography of Amelia Earhart's life and legacy by Lori Gwynn Shapiro, will make its festival debut Friday morning at the Amelia Earhart Hangar Museum. So there's a hangar museum there.
Oh, that is freaking cool.
Amelia at the Library, a program featuring Amelia Earhart as portrayed by Sidney Blake. It's a favorite of adults and children. So that's kind of cool that like both kids and adults like that. And then there's live music on the riverfront. Friday evening, move to the riverfront to enjoy live music featuring Noah Anthony, Abby Anderson, and Neil McCoy. I have no idea who those people are,
I have no
but
clue.
I'm gonna guess that they're probably like from that area.
I would assume so. You would think.
So then Saturday, there's a 2/8K. I'm telling you right now, I'm signing up for the 2K and I'm walking.
I cannot run.
There's a chipped timed race, begins and ends at Atchison Family YMCA. International Forest of Friendship. Celebrate aviation and space at the International Forest of Friendship. Walk the paths and celebrate Amelia and all of her honorees. Enjoy the waving of 100 flags.
Wow.
Yeah, representing our 50 states and countries represented in the 99s, the International Organization of Women Pilots. Have you seen? There's a show, or no, maybe it's a movie. Kerry Washington, which you know, I love her.
Mm-hmm.
Scandal had me hooked. Love her. She's in that movie, or I think it's a movie.
Oh,
And
really?
it's about like Black women pilots.
I have not seen that movie.
I haven't seen it either, but I knew it was coming out, and I think it's out on like Amazon Prime or something like that. Maybe Peacock.
Movie night.
Food, crafts, and music. Vendors along each block, as well as live music. White Wing and Wheels. It's a car show. Any cars welcome. Show will include trophies, 50/50 drawings, and more. Children's activities. The kids will have plenty to keep them busy with street performers and interactive fun. I feel like that would be so cool to go watch street performers. Like,
oh, I would love that.
yeah.
I think that would be so much fun.
There will be displays from the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks, creatures by Teresa, fire truck rides, miniature horses and donkeys, a petting zoo, balloon creations, and the Mad Scientist booth and more.
You know I'm going to be by the miniature donkeys.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
I want to ride a horse.
I'm trying to convince Joey to allow me to get a miniature donkey.
My husband said no because we got another dog. I've tried. Okay, step by step. Speakers, symposium. Something. Panel discussion features Pioneers Achievements Award recipient Tara Dower and other women sharing their journey step by step to successful careers. Free to the public.
Is it synopsis?
Symposium. It's an S word, okay? Historical church tours. Trinity. I definitely should have pre-read this.
Oh no.
Trinity Episcopal. Tour the historical church where Amelia was baptized. At 10 a.m. Sunday, July 20th, a church service will feature historical things.
We're not that illiterate, okay?
Yeah, we are.
We can read sometimes. When it comes to smut.
True. Afternoon tea with the authors. Join us for tea and treats as we enjoy a presentation from two authors, Lori Gwynn Shapiro and Mark Weekland. This is a wonderful opportunity to visit with the authors as well as purchase books they have signed. And then there's a Happy Birthday Amelia, an enduring festival tradition. Visitors are invited to sign a birthday card and eat cake to celebrate Amelia's upcoming 128th birthday.
Oh no.
Meet Amelia. Impersonator Sidney Blake welcomes visitors at the Amelia Earhart Hangar Museum. She must be really like famous in that area because that's like the third time I've said her name. Second or third. Music on the riverfront. The perfect setting for laid-back outdoor shows. You just can't take it in glass containers. Music begins at 4 p.m. featuring crowd favorites, Soca Jukebox. No idea what that is or who it is, but sounds cool.
It's a name?
Yeah, it's the name of some band, I guess. Evening aerobics. Aerobatic, sorry. Performance. Aerobics. Two very, very different things.
I was gonna be like, I could get down with that. That would be fun.
Prepare yourself to enjoy dazzling aerobatic, oh my god, performances over the majestic Missouri River. Mark Schultz and Bob Richard in Music by Plane. Concert in the Sky, fireworks show after dark on the banks of the Missouri River. Enjoy the Midwest most dazzling fireworks show, orchestrated to music by Stella Fireworks Incorporated. And that's all in July. So, Atchison sounds pretty cool.
It does sound fun, actually.
Now let's get to the dirty. Or not the dirty. The dark. The dark. I guess it could be dirty. I am really butchering it today, huh? I might be tired. I don't care.
Let's get down and dirty.
Let's get down and dirty to the dark. Don't watch me.
No freebie.
Ready?
Yes.
The Sallie House. Have you heard of the Sallie House?
No.
Oh my goodness. I did so much deep diving that I went down a rabbit hole.
Is it in Atchison?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is all in Atchison.
Oh, shit. Really? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
The Sallie House, Atchison's most famous haunted house. The Sallie House is visited by hundreds each year. Why we haven't gone, I'm not entirely sure.
I was going to question that. Why have we not gone?
I don't know where Atchison is.
Hold on. Let me look it up while you're reading.
The house is currently not occupied and available for both daytime visits and overnight visits.
Ooh. Okay.
A waiver is required due to
What?
potential for personal injury, though no serious injuries have been reported since the last tenants in 1993.
What? It's haunted enough that people. Oh my.
Ignore them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Originally built at the turn of the century, this house became the residence of an Atchison physician. So we're already off to a rough start. We have a doctor.
Oh boy.
How far away is it?
I cannot get my freaking Wi-Fi to load. $2 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's like the very northeast part of Kansas.
We've gone to Oklahoma, like Kansas City.
Almost 3.
Hmm.
It's a little. It's like north of Kansas City.
Resident living. The front served as an office space and examination rooms, while the doctor and his family lived upstairs. I feel like that was very common back then. Like,
Yeah.
business owners would live upstairs.
Yeah.
If you watch Bridgerton, you know.
Because it's historically accurate, obviously.
Obviously. Okay. One day, a frantic mother arrived carrying her 6-year-old daughter, Sallie. This child had collapsed from severe abdominal pain. The doctor diagnosed appendicitis and knew there was no time to delay surgery. Believing the appendix would soon burst, the doctor began cutting Sallie before the anesthesia took full effect. Sallie screamed, suddenly stopped, and she grew limp and pale. She died on the operating table. Her last memories of a man whom she believed was torturing her.
Oh.
A 6-year-old. That's not even like the worst part of this.
There's more?
There's more.
Okay. That poor baby.
In 1993, when the house was rented to a young couple. Their dog seemed to growl at nothing, especially near the upstairs nursery. Things began to take a violent turn, however. Fires broke out in the house, and a series of sinister attacks on the husband began. So, if she's still there, She's
Okay.
thinking that this is the man that tortured her to death.
She-
Literally.
Oh.
The operating area would become cold. Objects would visibly move when the young man drew near. He could feel scratches up on his chest or abdomen, but never did the ghost attack the wife or the baby.
She does not like men.
No, you can't blame her.
Oh no, 100%.
But what's crazy about this is, I don't know when this law came into effect, but I know at one time there was a law that came into effect that said you have to. Is my husband home? Look. No, on your phone. There was a law that came into effect at some point that you had to tell people who were moving into homes if they were haunted or if anyone had died in the house. Yes. So I don't think that that was around this time. I imagine it was probably later, well, maybe not. I would think like 1950s. I don't know. I'll have to double check on that. Built in the 1800s, the home has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, a modest home filled with ghosts. It was built for Michael Finney and his family who lived in the home until 1947. 4 members of the Finney family died of natural causes in the home throughout the years, and the home housed multiple families during its time. None, however, would be as memorable as the Pickmans. The home has been said to be the location of almost every type of ghostly activity. Apparitions, disembodied voices, objects moving on their own, shadow people, attacks, you name it. This could be why the home has gained much media coverage over the last 20 years. The home has even been featured on popular television shows such as A Haunting, Unexplained Mysteries, Ghost Adventures, and Sightings. The activity has been so severe at times that some people believe the hauntings of Sallie House could be demonic in nature, which, you know what, it wouldn't surprise me. You had a man who literally killed a 6-year-old. Not on purpose. I don't think he meant to do it on purpose, but still, she's probably like, that's her last memory.
I know. No wonder she's fucking frightened. I would be too.
Others believe that Sallie House is a home for portals of sorts that allows entities from the spirit world to enter the physical realm. Now that sounds a little far-fetched until you hear things later. Regardless of what lies behind the walls of the home, there's one thing everyone agrees on. The home is extremely haunted. People have stated that they have seen the apparition of a young girl for themselves. That would terrify me.
Yeah. Yeah, that would.
Young girlfriends who many believe is Sallie, as well as apparitions of an older woman standing in the windows. To me, that is probably one of the scariest things you could see. I don't want to look in a window and see someone standing there, especially if I know the house is like empty.
Wait, so like people have.
Like when you pull up, you could look up and see in the windows there's a woman standing.
Oh, hell no. No, thank you.
Candles are known to light and burn on their own.
What?
Objects pick up and move through the air on their own, and others have reported disembodied voices of men, women, and children. Scratching on the walls at night is a commonplace alongside the sound of furniture being moved around. There have been reports of more physical attacks and possessions. It was discovered in the early 2000s that a pentagram was drawn on the basement floor of the home. Satanic rituals remnants have been discovered, as well as luminol tests that was performed, which highlighted signs of blood spatter in the closet of the master bedroom. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That is insane.
Mm-hmm.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Do they know who? was doing all those satanic rituals? Did they?
I imagine. I mean, it's an old house. People probably broke in, and it's abandoned. It was probably abandoned for a while. I would imagine after the Pigments moved out, no one moved in for a little bit, and I'm sure someone went down there and thought, it's a game. Everyone thinks it's a game till it's not. So
That's why we don't do Ouija boards.
some people, no. Today the house is unoccupied but open for daytime tours and overnight stays. Ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
House of the Dead. The House of the Dead at 1322 Maple Street in Atchison, Kansas, is a renowned haunted attraction steeped in local lore. The property stands on Block 56, the former site of an old Atchison cemetery. When the cemetery was relocated, approximately 100 bodies were reportedly left behind. I'm telling you right now, if I'm one of those bodies that was left behind and you took part of my family, I'm gonna haunt your ass.
Oh, 100%.
I would be so pissed. When the cemetery, oh, I read that. Oh, and these bodies, they don't know where they're located officially. The unsettling history contributes to the house's reputation as a site where restless souls remain. Today, the House of the Dead offers a variety of paranormal experiences, including the haunted doll room featuring Dirty Gertie.
I'm telling you right now, we're never getting Joey into that room.
He's scared of dolls?
He does not fuck with dolls. At all. Someone gave us like a, I don't know what they're called, but it was kind of like not an actual rag doll, but kind of like it, the bigger for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It went in our closet. He put it in our closet.
Is it still in your closet?
No, we threw it away. Sorry.
A doll with a mysterious past linked to the Holocaust victims. Yeah. And the haunted Psycho-Manateum room, where visitors attempt to communicate with spirits. I'm not going in there.
Mm-mm.
You will not catch me in there.
No.
You know where you will catch me? Outside.
I'll look on the outside, but you and not. I'm not bringing anything home.
I'm not taking anything from there. I won't even. If I get dirt in my shoes, I'm dumping it.
Shake your feet off.
The house is open year-round, providing ghost tours and overnight stays for those seeking to encounter the supernatural.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I encountered enough supernatural in my life. I'm good.
Atchison, Kansas is known for its rich history of paranormal activity, with notable haunted houses such as the Sallie House and McInteer Villa, each with their own eerie legends. So now let's go to Atchison Street. This road, once known as Ferry Street, travels down a deep hill towards the Missouri River. Long ago, locals would board the ferry at the landing at the bottom of the hill when it was still referred to as Ferry Street. A woman traveling down the road in a buggy lost control of her horse, became unhitched, and unhitched from the animal, and plummeted down the street into the freezing river, trapped inside. She drowned, and her body was never discovered.
Ooh.
Yeah. Today, men walking along the riverbanks have heard a woman calling to them to join her in the murky water below. We're not walking next to that.
It's okay. I'll fight a ghost bitch for my men.
That's scary.
I should probably cut that out.
You better watch it. Someone is gonna haunt you.
Who?
We're reading scary shit in the house.
It's fine. Your house is already haunted.
And we didn't bring any sage, so Good on us.
I'm telling you right now, if we go to any of these places, I am wearing sage as a necklace.
You are the one who is obsessed with this type of stuff.
So are you.
Yeah,
You
but-
listen to Morbid. Don't even.
I guess I did turn you on to that. You ready?
Yeah.
Gargoyle home.
Ooh, that sounds
I don't
cool.
like that.
That sounds cool.
It sounds cool, but
Okay.
it is at 819 North 4th Street, more often referred to as the Wagner House. This turn of the century home was built in 1884 to 1885. They're not 100% sure. I imagine it was probably started in 1884 and ended in 1885. Kind of like this house. Started in 93, finished in 94.
Okay.
By B.P. Wagner, who was a loyal, what? He was not a loyal. He was a lawyer. As a politician in the Atchison area in the late 1800s. While gargoyles are usually erected to scare off evil spirits, legend has it that Wagner accumulated his wealth through a deal with the devil, and the gargoyles were constructed in honor of the pact. It was said that the house is afflicted by an evil curse. One homeowner who attempted to remove the gargoyles fell to his death on the staircase. I've never heard of many people dying from falling down the stairs. Like, I know you can seriously injure yourself.
Yeah.
It's the stairs. A segment on the Travel Channel reported that Kansas City's ghost hunters, while visiting the home, picked up presences of ghosts on their special equipment and reported of having felt a presence in the house. The house was placed on the National Register of Historical Places on May 3rd of 1974.
I still think it's cool. I would go to that one.
I know, but think about the guy that, like, he was just trying to get rid of. That's scary.
That is scary.
Jackson Park. A woman by the name of Molly is said to haunt this park. Supposedly, moaning and terrifying screams can be heard throughout the park around midnight. According to one legend, Molly was a beautiful young woman found dead in the park the day after her prom. She was found hanging by her neck to a park tree in a hollow with badly torn clothes. I feel bad for her. To go to prom and then not get to tell your friends and family about how much fun it was, or, you know, have the pictures, and she didn't get that.
That's horrible. That poor girl.
Allegedly, she and her date had argued the night before, and when Molly exited the car, her date drove off, leaving her in the park. It was never determined if her death was by her own or if it was murder. Though some suspect that her prom date killed her, no one was ever charged. Another legend of the park's haunting states that Molly was a black woman who was lynched by a white mob years ago. Rather than the eerie screams of a young girl, the cries instead come from the brutal slaying of an African-American Molly. In any case, the area today is known as Molly's Hollow, where couples go to park. In addition to Molly's chilling cries, many witnesses also claim to have seen a ghost figure hanging in the tree where the body was discovered. Promise you, I'm not going there at midnight. I'm not going there in the dark. I'm scared of the dark anyways. That's a nerve.
What? If that's the legend, why are you going there, do you know? With your date. I'm just saying.
There's a lot of places like that. There's like lovers' lanes where people have been murdered, and people still go and do the lovers' lanes things.
No, thank you.
I'm not. I have a house.
I'm not about that
I
life.
have a house in the bed. Okay, North 3rd Street home. This home was once inhabited. What is wrong with me?
Inhabitable?
No. It was once lived in by an elderly single school teacher named Nellie Trueblood. Legends told says companionless. Basically, she died in the house. When the house was sold, the new owners
funny.
began renovating, which we know that renovating does not make the ghost happy.
No.
Evidently, to Nellie's disgrace, it is said that when crews are working within the house, they reported seeing gleaming balls of light measuring 18 to 24 inches, which hover just out of reach. If approached, the light quickly moved away. Frightened, the work crews abandoned the project before the restoration was ever complete. So this person talked to Nellie's nephew, Scott Nielsen, from Denver, Colorado in 2012. Nielsen said that his aunt was far from bereft and that she actually died at the Atchison Hospital in 1958. Nielsen added, though, I'm not surprised to hear that Nellie may haunt the 3rd Street home, but that haunting would not be at all negative beyond possible desire for the old home to remain as it is and as it always was. She came from a large family and there was a lot of love in that old home. So I kind of think that that might have been a family home.
It just sounds like a lovely place. She honestly sounds lovely.
Yeah, and her nephew's like, she would never like make this a negative place. She would want this to be a happy place.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd be okay going there.
Yeah, that one sounds okay.
Other places, not so much. It was.
Riverview Drive Home. Several strange occurrences have been reported in this house, such as the television and stereo mysteriously turning on and at full volume and noises from rooms where no one is occupying.
Oh, hell no, do you know? I would scream. I would 100% scream.
You would not catch me dead in there. Literally.
Can you imagine? You're just minding your own business.
No, I can't. I can't imagine.
So that happened to me. That happened a lot growing up in my dad's old place. You would, in the middle of the night, like if you went to the bathroom, sometimes the laptop would be all the way shut and it would just start playing really loud, even though it was turned off.
Was it the same noises every time?
No. I think it happened maybe once to me, but it happened quite a lot to my brother.
You said it, not me. Okay. We're going on one such occasion, the resident thought the noise was her dog and called to him. However, instead of the dog responding to her call, an elderly woman's ghost spirit entered the room. Wrapped. What?
No. No, thank you. No.
The spirits smoothed a place on the bed and sat next to the resident. Screaming, the resident ran from the room to be answered by the slamming of an attic door behind her. Another strange experience has occurred to several guests who have stayed in the house. Apparently, when guests stay in this home, they are instructed to place their luggage at a space at the top of the stairs, which leads to the attic. However, the spirit seemingly doesn't like the suitcases stored in this area because the luggage is often found tossed to the bottom of the stairs. Why are they instructed to put it there? I mean, if the spirit doesn't like it, that might be to block it, though. The door from opening. That makes sense.
Why wouldn't you just lock the door? That probably pisses spirits off more, though.
Yeah, I don't know that you want to piss them off more.
But then,
I don't know.
that doesn't make sense to me. I feel like that's just disrespectful for the spirits. That's their home. Maybe they like to just come out and see people. I mean, I would fucking freak out if I saw a lady, like, come pat the bed and sit down next to me. Oh, hell no. My ass, gone.
I would pinch myself to make sure I'm not, like, asleep. Ask somebody what time it is.
But, like, that doesn't sound necessarily malicious.
When this house was purchased by the current owners, it came completely furnished, including several paintings on the wall. Making changes to the new home, the new owners removed several of the paintings, wrapped them carefully, and placed them in the basement for storage. However, the very next day, every single painting was back in its original location.
See, that doesn't sound malicious. That just sounds like it's their home.
And I get that, but like new owners, I'd be like, hey man, This is just not my style.
I'd be like, listen, dude, you don't pay the rent, you don't pay the mortgage, we're gonna have to find a compromise. You get the attic, I get the rest of the house. The attic is yours. I live
Kearney
there.
and the Fifth Street home. According to the former owners of this house, a friendly ghost lingers here. While there are many unexplained events, such as the sound of someone walking through the house, the ghosts seemingly are very hopeful. At one point, the ghost helped the man of the house into his dinner jacket. Thinking his wife had helped him, he turned around to thank her, but there was no one there. On another occasion, there was a couple returning home from a trip. The wife mentioned that she would love to have a cup of tea when she got home. Upon arrival, a tea kettle was hissing, and a cup, a saucer, a tea bag, and a spoon were sitting on the counter.
Oh, that's
So
sweet.
that sounds like I wouldn't mind that. We can go there. That's safe.
That's sweet. That's
We'll
adorable.
still not take anything from the house.
Oh, hell no.
So we kind of talked about Sallie House earlier. Oh, okay, so let's go back to that couple. So, you know, the husband was getting attacked, the baby was okay, and the wife was okay. At the wit's end of the couple, a psychic was consulted who informed the couple that there were actually two spirits within the house.
Okay.
The psychic indicated that it was not Sallie who was responsible for the malevolent activities, but rather a ghostly woman of about 30. While Sallie may have been responsible for the harmless pranks, because she was also pranking. Like, she would, like, turn on the lights.
Oh, yeah,
You know.
yeah. Just harmless pranks.
Mm-hmm. It was the older woman who was the evil one. Allegedly, this mysterious woman was at first fond of the gentleman who lived in the house and tried to get close to him while at the same time attempting to drive a wedge between him and his wife. While she was unsuccessful at this, she began to attack the husband. Finally, after the husband felt a strong shove from behind that nearly sent him over the stair railing, the couple could no longer take it and moved from the house. Since the couple had moved, later residents have reported no activity occurring in the house. In addition, let's just say it was on TV. On November 13, 2004, Jerry Talbert is who lives in this house.
Okay.
So this link told me that they did an interview with him. Obtaining permission from the home's current owner, we entered the house along with Jerry's crew, carrying boxes of sophisticated electronic equipment. Newly remodeled, the home sported brand new carpet, paint cans about the home, and the sound of a radio playing faintly from the upstairs room. The first sign that perhaps there is still some activity in this house occurred when the first to climb the stairs to the upstairs room. Suddenly, the volume of the radio increased fivefold. In no time at all, Renee, a member of Jerry's group, appeared behind me. "Did you turn the radio?" "No," I responded. The volume had increased before I ever had the chance to reach the third step. Later, one of Jerry's crew picked up an odd noise of a voice recorder that might have been described as a little girl's voice, and another member reported having felt pinched. The psychic that Legends of America brought along described that while the house still had some type of presence, it has little activity. She did get a sense of anxiety in one upstairs room. Of the many pictures that we took along the trip, only one suggests the possible sign of something unearthly. On the staircase where I had stepped, when the volume increased the radio, an orb appeared in the photograph. While this might be contributing to the use of the digital camera, The coincidence is interesting. So then, in 2005, Jerry's team did an update. Legends of America originally visited the Sallie House with Jerry Talbert, an Atchison resident, in November 2004. Jerry and his crew have continued their investigation and recording audio of several sounds in the house during their 60-hour investigation.
60 hours?
Yeah. These include audio of a little girl singing and playing, one that sounds like a little boy, and one of a man, and another of at least one woman, maybe two. Other recordings include the sounds of coins hitting the wood floors, footsteps, thumps, growls, and whispers. Often, when the crew is talking, other voices have been heard interacting with the conversation. Jerry concludes that the house is still haunted, though there is nothing left that is evil. He continues by expressing his opinion that whatever malevolent presence was there when the young couple lived at the house left when they did.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of stuff I'm scared of.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to fucks with all that.
Yeah, no.
Glick Mansion, 503 North 2nd Street. Construction on the Glick Mansion began in 1873 by George Washington Glick. Glick had moved to Atchison from Fremont, Ohio in the spring of 1859 with his wife, Lizzie Ryder Glick. That's rude. Son of Frederick H. and daughter with his and his daughter, Jenny. Soon, where's Jenny? I'm not go with Jenny. Soon he established a law practice with the Honorable Judge Alfred G. Otis under the firm name Otis and Glick. When the war between the states broke out, Glick served as a Union soldier in the 2D Kansas Regiment during the Civil War. In April 1873, Glick purchased 2 lots for $950.
Wonder what that translates to nowadays.
Look it up.
What year was it?
1873. And raised a structure of the property to begin the building of the mansion. First built the Gothic Victorian style, constructed of the grand structure, would continue for the next 39 years. What'd you
It
get?
would be $21,970.92.
Wow. Glick was elected to the Kansas legislature in 1862 and served 14 of the next 18 years in that post. In 1874, Glick also became active in farming and stock raising on his 600-acre Shannon Hill farm, well known in the area. In 1879, Lizzie Glick, George's wife, purchased 2 adjoining lots north of their home for $1,000, and another building was raised to make room for expansions of the mansion. It was also during this year that George Washington Glick would become the 9th governor of Kansas and the first ever Democrat governor of the states. Though he only remained in office for 1 term, he continued to remain active in the political arena and active in local businesses, participating as one of the original founders of the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad. After years of civic service, George Glick was forced to abandon his political career because of a throat infection that nearly destroyed his speaking ability. He continued, however, as an attorney of various railroads. He also managed his farm and served as a character member and vice president of the Kansas Historical Society. In October of 1909, George deeded the Glick Mansion property to his daughter, Jenny, and her husband, James Orr. Just 2 years later, at the age of 83, George Washington Glick died on April 13th of 1911. In 1912, James and Jenny Orr began to remodel their home, retaining the mansion appearance but transforming it from Victorian style to the current Tudor Revival Manor style. When James Orr died in February of 1927, the mansion was left to Jenny until she died in 1944. After years of civic service, George Glick was forced to abandon his political career. Wait, I thought he died. Oh, that is just a copy of what is up there. My bad. The Glick Mansion was placed on the National Register of Historical Places on February 26th of 1992, along with the rest of Atchison. The Glick Mansion is also said to have a ghost of its own rattling around in the century-old home. Allegedly, the strange sounds heard in the night are that of a resident ghost. The sound of doors being opened and inexplicably closed by unseen forces is a common occurrence, as well as the sound of footsteps when no one is around. That's what would get me. I don't want to hear people moving around and then look around the corner and there's no one there. That's terrifying to me. For years, guests could enjoy the century-old home by sipping English tea or wine and tasting the lovely hors d'oeuvres in the parlor when the building served as a bed and breakfast inn. Unfortunately, it is closed today. The building located at 503 North 2nd Street in Atchison.
That sounds like a cool place.
It does. I kind of wish it was still open. I would totally do a bed and breakfast there.
Yeah.
But once we're in, that door's locked.
So growing up, I would hear footsteps of the basement door opening, and then hear it close, and then hear footsteps going through the kitchen, dining room, and then my bedroom was at the end of the hall, so there's one way in and one way out, and I'd hear footsteps walking to the edge of my bedroom door. And I would
Hell no.
There's no one there.
No, I don't like that at all.
I was terrified as a child in that house.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right. McInteer Villa. The stately mansion called the McInteer Villa at 1301 Kansas Avenue was built by Irish immigrant John McInteer in 1890. The villa was placed on the National Register of Historical Places on March 26th of 1975. An odd phenomena are reported in the mansion, including lights turning on and off in the tower, which does not have electricity.
Oh, that's weird.
People walking or driving past the building have often reported seeing figures in the window when no one is in the house. Figures have often been reported to appear in photographs taken inside the old villa. For years, wrong one. It all began in 1858 when the monks opened a boarding school with just 6 students. The following year, St. Benedict's College was officially opened with 16 students. From there, the college continued to grow into a beautiful 120-acre campus, which now serves the educational needs of over 1,000 students. At another, I don't think that's right. I think that's something else. You want to hear about McInteer House? That's where that comes from. In McInteer House, it was built in 1885. This old home was a host to frequent Saturday night parties. On one such evening, the event ran into the wee hours of Sunday morning. Having been kept up very late, a maid who had worked for the party the prior evening overslept the next morning. Rushing from her bedchamber, she ran down the staircase to the kitchen and fell to her death.
Oh.
Yeah. Today, witnesses report that lights from the back staircase turn on and off by themselves on Sunday mornings, followed by the smell of cooking bacon from the kitchen when no one is there. The house, which serves as a art gallery today, was listed on a National Register of Historical Places on July 12th, 1974.
That's actually kind of sad.
Yeah. It is.
It's like now she's being extra careful, turning the lights on before she goes downstairs.
She's still making food.
I know,
She said, I died, but I'll make you some bacon.
I'd be like, girl, chill, relax. You don't need to make me bacon. You fell down the stairs.
I feel like this would be a cool place to go visit. I don't know that I have the balls in me to stay there.
If there's a place that's haunted, I'm not staying there.
I might stay in that one house. Oh, wait, it was closed. The bed and breakfast, I would stay there.
That wouldn't be bad. Any other place, no thank you. Like the
I'm
Lizzie
not staying at the
house.
Sallie House. Yeah, I've thought about that, and I'm like, you know, if we had the chance and we were in Salem, would we?
No. I would go there.
I would do a daytime tour.
I would not spend the night there. Absolutely not. That's too long.
What if Ash and Elena and Corinne and Sabrina invited us?
I still would not be staying the night.
What about Jerry and Sierra too? It'd be one big slumber party. We probably wouldn't sleep.
I would be, do you know what you would see? You would see me in a corner with a cross and a sage, huddled over, probably fucking crying.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. And people like live in this town.
That is crazy that is all in one town.
I know. When I was just like looking for like stories, I was gonna do a murder, and this came up, and I was like, can't be that much. And as I started reading, and more stuff was being added to my list, I was like, oh my gosh! And then I watched videos on it. That was creepy. And then I had to watch Disney movies to go to bed. 'Cause it was scary. Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah.
All right, I'm Kendra.
I'm Ryland.
And we might regret this.